Good morning everyone, welcome to Jandera. Look what I got. The beautiful Cynthia from Cynthia's Craft and More gave me an amazing blessing the other day after she got a little bit of money from her mum's passing away, and she's blessed me with a wonderful gift, and I'm going to make some gardens for her as a way of saying thank you, that are going to include things like strawberries and blueberries and maybe some bananas, and I've got all sorts of other things in here. I've got pear, I've got ginger, I've got some asparagus, I've got some strawberries, I've got a navel orange, and I've got another box that I haven't opened yet. So yes, so they've just arrived, and now it's time to unpack them and get them into some soil or something. Some of these are bare rooted, some of them are not. So I need to get in and see what I'm looking at. Well, I decided doing this on the ground was just not working, so I've popped it on a table because my back was screaming at me. I've still got a few things to unwrap yet, but I've got my three-way apple, which has come bare rooted. That's a Gala, Red Fuji and a Pink Lady. I've got the William pear, that's a dwarf one, and I've got 3 varieties of raspberry. So they've come bare rooted and definitely ready to go in the ground. I've got some ruby gem strawberries. I'm looking forward to seeing those. I've got some ginger. I won't be planting those out just yet. Some asparagus. They're the purple ones. I've got a vanilla vine, so really pleased about that. An old hammy bamboo, which is going to be really useful. The Washington navel orange, it's a dwarf variety. So yeah, another one I'm really excited about. And this one, this is a dragon fruit, but it's an Aussie gold. So that's really, I'm really looking forward to that. But I need to get the rest of these open and then see what I'm looking at, because I really didn't plan this very well. And I should have had the spots ready for them to go into, but I haven't. I got a little bit excited. I've been looking at these for ages and wanting to get them, so I really should have dug my ditches, but I didn't. So yes, anyway, I will possibly end up putting most of it in pots, bigger pots for now, just to give myself a little bit of breather, because I had expected them to arrive on Friday, and they've arrived today on Monday, and school terms just started. So I thought I was going to have the weekend to be able to get them all planted out, but the work week started and school term started back, so time is now limited again. Anyway, I better get this finished. Okay, so they're now all finally unwrapped. Well, except for the ones that I'm going to need to plant out fairly quickly. So the asparagus, I'm planning on probably popping that over near the grapevines, and then the ginger, I'm not doing much with that at all. I'll probably pop that in the house. The strawberries I'll probably pot up somewhere too. Everything else is all unpacked. So we've got a coffee, K7. We've got another dwarf coffee, which is a Catch-Eye. So I've got 2 different varieties of coffee there. I've got a couple of pepinos. I did get given some pepinos, but I'm pretty sure they were a casualty of my breaking my leg and no one looking after them. I've got a blueberry biloxi, which this is the only biloxi variety that I've got. All the other ones I've got are misty blue and sunshine, I think. So that's going to be a very special one, and will always remind me of Cynthia from Cynthia's Craft and More. The old hammy bamboo, the dwarf orange, navel orange, the dragon fruit, gold, Aussie gold. So that one's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. The vanilla, and then the bare rooted stuff that I've got over here, the apple tree, the pear, and the raspberries. So that's what I've gotten, my progress so far. I may just pot these up into larger pots, I think, and then leave that for a day and pop it over in my garden over there and get it ready and just have it there watering over there until I'm ready to plant it in its permanent spot. But most of these pots are already getting a bit small. I need to decide where I'm going to put the vanilla, because that one's a shade loving plant, as is the coffee trees. So they like to be in shade. So they're an understory type plant, so they'll go really well underneath some other trees once the other trees get a bit bigger. But they should go okay underneath my little pine trees over there, or big pine trees, until the other trees underneath them get established. So yes, the dragon fruit I'll probably pop next to one of the stumps that got chopped down a couple of weeks ago, and I'm thinking that I'm going to put the citrus tree, the navel, I'm planning on popping them over along that fence. I'm going to have Jonathan's, Matthew's, and then the navel orange, which is one that I'm planting for Crystal. Not that she knows about it, but they're basically the citrus trees for my 3 children. And then I'll plant other things underneath them. I've got some calendula that I gave Matthew for his birthday, and some chocolate mint that he got. And of course Jonathan's got a bean that he's wanting to plant, and some other bits and pieces. So got lots of plans for that little area over there. Just got to have a good day to be able to do it. And I'll possibly get Gavin to help with digging the holes. But yeah, anyway, that's the update for today. I may not get back to you to show what the result is, but I'll see how I go. So what I managed to do was I got the pear in a pot, I got the apple in a pot, and then got most of the other stuff in pots down here. I didn't get them all potted up into bigger pots, but some of them I did. Most of the ones around here I still need to do up, but I've run out of pots that I can find, so I'm going to go on a pot hunt to do that. I got the strawberries potted up. All the bare rooted ones I got potted. So there's one of the strawberries, and another couple of the strawberries. And I've brought around the front my 2 raspberries that I had before that I think possibly died, but dead. But it's possible that they might come back. Sorry, I'm really having trouble focusing for some reason. I'm not focusing nicely. Anyway, so, oh, there you go. So that one and that one are ones out from the back. And I'm just wondering whether that one might be about to reshoot. Anyway, if it's not, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, no great loss. But I got the 3 new raspberries planted out though. I just can't focus on them. No focus. And no update on the mushroom experiment. It's not making much progress, but not expecting any progress. Hey, so it's the next day. I didn't get everything done yesterday, which is not surprising. I've made some progress this morning. I've got the blueberry planted, so that's the Bleoxy. I don't know. And I've got a couple of the ruby gem strawberries in here. So that is in honour of Cynthia from Cynthia's Craft and More. Thank you so much, beautiful. I really, really appreciate your amazing blessing. I've got some nasturtium in there and a pineapple, and there's a little echina there as well. So that's a support species. I probably should plant some pigeon pea in here for some more support species. Next, I'm going to be doing a citrus there, but I'm going to need to take a break before I do that. And I may need to get some help with some more holes. And do another blueberry there, then another one of the citruses there, then another blueberry, then the other citrus. I'm just debating on what order I'm going to do it in. I may actually put Jonathan's citrus in there, since Jonathan loves Cynthia and Cynthia loves Jonathan. And so I might put Jonathan's next to Cynthia and then go order of age. So Jonathan's, then Matthew's, then Crystal's up the end. So yeah, interestingly, Crystal's is the smallest because it's the youngest, but she's in actual fact the oldest. Anyway, not to worry. I will probably put her up the end. So yeah, so that's the plan. She may be the one that gets planted today though, simply because it's got the smallest root ball. So I don't need to dig as big a hole, or need to get somebody else to dig as big a hole for me. So yeah, that's my plan. And the plan is to have a whole heap of support species underneath it. The nasturtium and pumpkins, etc., act as a brilliant, and the comfrey act as a brilliant living mulch for your fruit trees. So as you can see around this one, I've got some spaghetti squash, which isn't doing great at the moment because it hasn't liked our cold mornings. But I've planted a butternut pumpkin or butternut squash over there, the comfrey, as I always do, as nasturtium is acting as a beautiful mulch around the moringa. And over here I've popped in a butternut squash. Well, I did that probably last week sometime. And as you know, my comfrey, which many of you have commented on how wonderful and lush it is. At the moment, I am chopping chunks of it off and sticking it in the bottom of the holes when I put the plants in, as well as putting some ash in from the fire pit, just to give it a bit of a potash type boost. I think it's potassium. I'm not sure. Correct me down below if I'm wrong. I was contemplating putting some Epsom salts as well for the magnesium, but haven't got to that yet. But I'm really pleased with my progress so far. But I need a break, and it might be a while before I get back. It may even be tomorrow or the next day or even the day after, but we'll see how we go. It's a bit hard to tell in the video how long it's taken me to do it, isn't it? Anyway, okay, so I've made a bit of progress. It's the next day again. Well, we've made a bit of progress. I've chopped and gotten a whole heap of comfrey from another spot on the property and taken all the dead leaves and everything like that. I mean, that's a couple of years worth of dead leaves from a comfrey plant that I had down next to in between the carport and the shed. And I got some of the lemongrass that Tyler gave me, back before I moved from Eagleby, and a pella or a tree spinach. Hopefully that will survive. I don't think it was actually in the dirt. It keeps getting ripped out. But it's a tree spinach and grows beautifully in Queensland. It's lovely. It goes by lots of different names. Pella is one of them. Island spinach, tree spinach, Queensland spinach. So yeah, anyway, subscribe to the channel and watch this space to find out more. I will be doing lots of videos on Pella because it is an amazing plant when it actually grows. At the moment it's looking pretty dead, but it's not dead. The top part is, but I'm hoping the bottom part's going to come back. And I do have a cutting in the aquaponics, and I think there's one down at the dam or the pond. So I've got a blueberry planted. I've got that navel down there planted along with some comfrey leaves around it as well. Got these pots sitting here waiting to be put in. So I'm going to put this lemongrass in as a bit of a support species, because lemongrass creates a wonderful mulch material as well. So great for chop and drop. I've also got some comfrey root in here that I'm going to be popping around the place, as well as, I don't know if you can see down the bottom here, we've got, let's focus, some pigeon pea seeds. So yeah, pigeon pea is a really good nitrogen fixer. It also produces a lot of organic material really quickly, so it's really good for chop and drop. Really great for just supporting your plants, and on top of that you can actually eat the peas as well. So it's edible and it's a support species. So I plant a lot of pigeon pea around the place. I will probably scatter some. I think I already have put some seeds in here, but I'll probably put some more in. I'm definitely going to plant some, I'll put some seeds in along here. I tend to overplant because I tend to also be pretty good at killing things. So, and half of it is because my health tends to let me get down. So when I'm feeling well, I get things done. When I'm not feeling well, it can take a long time for me to recover, and therefore I need to put a lot of things in place to make it so that my plants survive my not being well. They didn't survive my breaking my leg very well, and getting neglected, which is really sad, but it happens. So I got a calendula planted down here with the Emperor Mandarin, which is Jonathan's citrus, which he's very excited about. Some nasturtium, the support species, and a pineapple. And I got another pineapple in there next to that blueberry as well. So we're making progress. It's slow going, but I'm making progress, and this is not a short project. This is not something that's going to grow quickly. My intent is to actually not let these trees fruit for at least 12 months. So when they flower, well, the blueberries will let flower, but the citrus trees, I will probably take all of the flowers off, so that it can focus on root development, not fruit development, so that I can get them really well established. I also put down really thick mulch as another strategy for helping to protect my plants from the weather conditions that we have here. Wood chips and other mulch are fantastic for absorbing moisture, but they also will stop your fruit trees from getting waterlogged. So yeah, it's a really good strategy. And then you've got the living mulches on top of that as well, which is just an extra benefit. That one's going berserk over there, that little nasturtium. I'm really pleased with how that nasturtium's going. It's actually difficult to find the moringa under here for all the nasturtium. It's massive. So yeah, look at all those lovely shoots. So good. So good. I'm so pleased that this is doing well. Definitely making progress. My little butternut squashes down there are doing fantastically. Thankfully we haven't had a frost and them knocked on the head. I'm thinking I will probably cover them with something if the temperatures get too low and I'm aware that they're going to. At the moment we're not getting below 2 degrees at night, so at least that's what the weatherman's saying. I haven't got a thermometer out here actually measuring the temperature, but I'm going by the fact that my squash plant there, my spaghetti squash, is doing fine. It did curl its little toes up a couple of times with the cold weather, but it seems to be doing really well at the moment. So really pleased, and I'm just going to keep plodding along with this. I'm going to need a break soon because I've pushed myself a little bit hard this morning, and all I've done really is water the garden, water the plants, and I did plant that blueberry and the pella. So that's all I've done so far. But that section of dirt was particularly hard. Well, not particularly hard, it was a lot softer than it was when we moved in here. When we moved in here, I could not get tread-in posts in. The ground was like concrete. Now we've got a lovely layer of organic matter on the ground, which is helping the water stay in, seep in, soak in, and the paddock is absorbing a lot more moisture. So when we moved here, there was no grass, nothing. I was having to feed the goats a lot of hay, and I had a lot more goats at the time. So at the moment the girls are doing well on a biscuit of hay a day and some pellets, so along with the hay on the grass on the paddock. So really pleased with how well this paddock is recovering from years of constant grazing. So the rotational grazing, as well as a year of rest with me not being able to do anything, and having the paddock slashed a couple of times, has really made a huge difference. Although that fireweed's still down there making a horrible mess. Anyway, I better get back to it. It's not going to get itself sorted, is it? It looks a bit messy at the moment, but I need to get this lemongrass in, I need to get some pigeon pea seeds in, and the comfrey in. And I need to get some mulch happening. Anyway, back to it. I'll probably get the boys to come and help me with some of this. Well, haven't made much progress. Still recovering from doing all of this, and I have got all of the trees, well, all of the citrus trees that I wanted planted. I've still got a heap of other trees that I'm wanting to plant, but that's the progress so far. And I've still got to get that one mulched, and I've gotten a few bulbs to put around the trees as well, because they act as a good mulch as well, and they're pretty. So I've got to do that at some point. But oh man, I'm wrecked. But what I've just done now is I had a couple of roast chicken carcasses and some rotten eggs, so I dug a hole in there and buried them. So that'll feed this whole area, well, at least it'll feed the microbiome in this area and the soil food web and all that good jazz. So everything seems to be doing well. I've been getting it watered, but I think I've really done way too much. I'm not feeling real great at the moment, so definitely gonna have to leave it a bit before I get too much more done. But everything's doing well. I do need to get the mulch back from around the base of the mandarin, but it's all looking quite good this morning. I'm really pleased with how well, it's not this morning actually, it's afternoon. I can't even tell what time of day it is. I'm doing real well at the moment, aren't I? Everything seems to be doing well and happy. When I was watering this morning, oh, and those butternuts that I planted are doing really, really well. When I was watering this morning over here, I thought I'd show you what's happening over here. Some of the plants are really starting to do quite well. I'm really, really pleased. I think I may have lost that lemongrass, but that lemongrass is doing okay. I still can't find the lavender. There's a lavender in here somewhere. There's a little tiny sprig. And it's not just that I've over mulched, it's also that there wasn't much left after the whippersnipper attacked it, and then I ripped it out of the ground. But really pleased with how well the white yarrow's doing. It's making big strides, but the borage by far is doing the best. I'm a little bit concerned about the ice cream bean tree. It doesn't look super happy, but it might be getting overwatered. I'm not sure. The self-heal is coming along nicely. The rosella is starting to look more like a rosella, which is great. And my bulbs are coming up here really nicely. These ones are the daffodils, so not expecting them to flower until September. So still a couple of months away before they'll flower, I think. Or are they August? Actually, I think they're August that they flower. So, but everything else is doing really well. And the comfrey is starting to really come out of the ground. It's doing really well. The comfrey's coming up very nicely in lots of different spots. No progress with the mushroom experiment, but not expecting that for another couple of weeks. That's if it does anything. I'm really not sure what it's going to do. But I'm so really, really pleased with the comfrey and with the borage. Honestly, this whole area just, I really feel so peaceful when I'm in this area. It's just really coming along nicely. The plants are growing, so much greenery, and I know there's going to be lots of pretty flowers and lots of fruit and lots of productive stuff happening. The coca-cola is doing okay. It's not jumping out of the ground, but it's definitely making progress. Looking forward to that one getting bigger. My big challenge is Jonathan is pruning everything way too quickly and things aren't getting a chance to grow. But look at the comfrey. So pleased with that comfrey. So very, very pleased. But I'm just about wrecked. No, I am. I am completely and utterly wrecked. I'm not feeling very well at the moment. So I need to just have a bit of a quiet one for the rest of the afternoon. Should focus on the boys' schoolwork actually. And honestly, I was doing that. I only came out to bury those chicken carcasses and discovered that there were some rotten eggs, which is never pleasant. And gave the girls their afternoon tea, some pellets and some livermole and some herb and garlic blend. Gwen is definitely starting to look more pregnant, and Evie's got the belly starting to happen. It's not terribly obvious, but every now and then, and they stand in just a certain way, you can see how the girls are going. But they're happy girls. Happy girls. So yes, I might just sit out here and enjoy watching the girls for a little while. Aren't they lovely? I'm sure they've eaten up all of their afternoon tea and going, yep, it's all gone. Going, can we have some more, please? Can we have some more? Goats are very food focused. Interestingly, at the moment, the electric fence is not on because they're having a problem with the energizer. But yeah, so Evie's udders just do not seem to be filling out, whereas Gwen's do. Her udders are definitely filling up. I don't think she's bagging up just yet, but it'll definitely, time will tell. She's not going to let me look behind her at the moment, but she's definitely looking like she's got a little bit of a belly. Hopefully she's only having one and not two. And I do think there is a belly happening on Evie. It's just the udders aren't filling out at all. But she wouldn't be due for a long time, I don't think. It's difficult not knowing when the buck was actually with them, because they were just running with the buck, and I'm not sure for how long. But it's all good. It's all good. Just chilling at the moment. As much as I feel wrecked, I've at least got something to show for it. I mean, yeah, I know it's partly the graves that's making me feel horrible, and partly the whiplash that's making me feel horrible, and partly recovering from the leg still, and partly the stress with the house, but it's good to be able to sit down and just spend time with the goats and not think about everything. Just focus on the good things that are happening. Getting to watch my goats. Well, they're not babies, but hopefully we'll have some baby goats soon. And getting to watch the plants grow. And something stirred up the chickens, maybe an egg. Chickens may have laid an egg. I think the big thing at the moment is just not getting worried about everything that's happening and focusing on the good things, on all the plants growing. And Proverbs actually says that you should plant your garden, then build your house. So in faith, I'm building my garden, and it is coming along really, really nicely. Oh, as is a 6-year-old running towards me, because I bet he spotted the camera and he wants to come and say hello. He's supposed to be doing schoolwork, so I really should go back in, do it in English. You gonna say hello?
Hello.
I better go. Say goodbye to the goats. Bye, goats. And remember, you're either green and growing
or ripe and rotting.
He said it. And I'll catch you in the comment section. Bless you.